Namaste, my sisters and brothers, co-creators, children. So, not children as in, I'm sure, I'm not saying that at all. That's another topic. There shouldn't be any, actually, there should not be children on this video or listening to this video right now, preferably um, you don't have children because I need to feel free. We need to feel free to talk about adult topics. So please listen to these things when you have time and space or with earbuds in, um, because there are topics here that the little ones should not be exposed to. So when I say children, I'm coming from a philosophy that says that we are co-creators and that many things here are things that we have created ourselves are our creations, and in that they are our children. Okay, that's another topic. Maybe I need to do one on that. See if you want me to talk more about that, then you can ask me to. You can share in the comments that you would like to know more about that. This comes from A Course in Miracles uh, philosophy, which is another topic which you might want to look into that. So it runs along the lines of Ho'oponopono, and I don't know. Let me see if I can write that down. I should have written this. See, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, Oponopono. Um, I think I spelled that right. Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian philosophy of forgiveness. And this is along the lines of what Magenta Pixie had channeled with the nine about the 3-step Cabal process. It's very, very similar. So, but right now we are on step 1. That is really step 3 of the process. Okay. Um, so step step 1 is learning learning about what is happening, what has happened and happening. Um, so that is step 1. Okay. Um, so now you can't really declare the reason why you have to learn about what has happened and what is happening is because you can't really forgive it or set boundaries with it, claim your sovereignty from it if you do not know what's going on. It's kind of that simple. It's easy for somebody to say, um, uh, you know, I'll use Abraham's example. They call you up and you've never met this person before, and they're like, I know we've never met, but I'm never going to call you again. And you go, and so what? I don't know who you are. I really don't care. So that's the attitude that you can also take if, for instance, you don't know what's going on. So you're like, I can forgive this very easily because I don't really know what happened, so it makes no big deal to me. Well, guess what? It affects it affects most most likely, and I'm sure it does, somebody in your family is affected by this. You are affected by this. You don't even know it. That is the best kind of prison, the one that you don't know you're in. And if you refer back to the Matrix, that's what was going on. There was nothing for the people in the Matrix to forgive when they were just going about their daily process. They were going to their jobs. They were going, they had their little white picket fences and houses and 2.5 children. There's nothing to forgive. Um, they don't, people don't know what's happening to those around them within their family and maybe to them, most likely to them, because you know, there is mind wiping technology that is vastly used, and our minds have the ability to forget. We were created in such a way to forget, to fragment our own mind so that we could tolerate living in the same world, in the same body. That is what shamanism talks about. It is about soul retrieval, which is parts of ourselves that have fragmented off so that we can survive the trauma. That is well documented and researched in trauma research, and becoming more well documented. Multiple personality disorder is called DID, dissociative identity disorder, is a more extreme example of soul fragmentation or mind fragmentation, which the as if you've done your research, you'll know that the Cabal or deep state use this as a form of mind control and making the Manchurian, I believe it's the Manchurian candidate. This stuff is regular technology now. I will tell you that part of the reason I know about this is because I'm studied this in my social work program as an addiction specialist, um, and also as a trauma release specialist, um, I'm a trauma release exercise facilitator. And that's part of what we study is how the mind does fragment itself. And so people don't really know what there is to forgive. You may not know, you may not remember, and that's okay. Don't try to go, your mind brings it up when it's ready. And the thing is that you don't have to learn about what's happened to you personally to be able to start to forgive this of what's happening. When you look at what's happened with others, listen to other stories, and things may or most likely going to start coming up for you. However, your mind will not give you more than you can handle. But look at the feelings. Look at the feelings coming up. Okay, feel the feelings coming up, and if you have feel something in there just goes, "Ugh," or down here, like, excuse me, but like here's the heart chakra. It can get you here. It can get in your throat. These are chakra points here. The ones in the solar plexus, it's a little lower here, and it's where your stomach gets all in a knot. These are signs that you have connections to this similar, if you resonate with somebody's story and it just really kind of, it gets you, then there is some part of you, whether it's this lifetime or last lifetime, and yes, I'm talking about different lifetimes or different, there's where, or shared consciousness, because we have shared consciousness. If you don't know about this, yes, we have shared consciousness because we are one. And so if you resonate with somebody, you may resonate more closely than you know that maybe in your this body in this lifetime, or it may be in a last lifetime, it may be at some point in the timeline uh, that you're going to be going into, that your consciousness is going to be into. But anyway, if you let this come up and you let yourself have the feeling and you ask your higher self, Holy Spirit, guardian angel, Jesus, Muhammad, okay? You ask whoever it is you need to look at this with you. Hopefully, of Course in Miracles just says Holy Spirit that's the one for the spirit that was sent. But a healing higher agent needs to look at this with you to change your perspective of what's happening. And you can ask, what is this for? What is this for? There is a reason, and you will get your own answer. I have mine. And I can tell you some of those reasons that these things are happening. That will be more in the for why you should forgive part. But basically, there's a reason this is happening. You have entered into a dualistic system, which is a game essentially for the gods. In Hinduism, they call it Maya. Here, it is a game because for a god or godlike beings, this is a way for it, he, she, it, they to expand their consciousness. It's not saying it's real. Is a video game real? No, but skills are developed, aren't they? Whether it's just doing the joystick or strategizing or expanding your experience or learning about yourself, you expand in the game. Doesn't mean the video game is real. You're bigger than that video game, right? Than the avatar in that game. You are the but here in the game, we've projected our consciousness into this avatar. Seems very real, and it's supposed to have seemed very real. But there is a time to wake up and to get back, to wake up and to go, oh, wow. Whew, I learned a lot from that. I experienced a lot. And I also learned that I actually am a loving being and that there's so much to learn here. But basically, how can you be love? How can you know that you extend from love and that you're truly loving if you're never tested? How could you really know if you just were loving towards those who were loving towards you? Oh, it's nice and easy to love a furry little bunny rabbit and cute little kittens. Let them grow up and bite you. You know, let them, like Steve Irwin, they bit him. All the animals, they could do anything. He died by one, right? The stingray, and left its I don't know, thorn, its tail through his heart. But what he used to say was, if you get bit, it's your own fault because you know what they are. You know they're wild animals. Well, guess what? We're dealing with some wild animals right now. And they're called Cabal, deep state. They have a reptilian-like brain that they use mostly. We all have it right back here. It's well known. We have a reptilian brain that just reacts. We also have a mammalian brain that's in the middle, and it gives us that dualistic reality. And then the frontal part of the brain lets us decide which one we're going to use. Right now, there's some of us that are using the animalistic reptilian brain. That is what they maybe mostly genetically are. We're dealing with them. Whether you remember it or not, you chose to enter the cage with them. You may be mad at me telling you this. You may have forgotten that you made this agreement that you wanted to be here in this dream at this time. I know me well enough. I've done enough meditation to know now that I would have dove in and I would have said, yeah, I'm going in, hell or high water. Well, guess what? It's hell and high water. Okay. It's been hell and high water. And I knew this. And when I came to grips with the acceptance that I was here to be with the ones that were going to play the dark side, and I played the light side so that they could help me realize that I am a loving being and I do choose to forgive. And I have developed skills and abilities that I wouldn't have been catalyzed to do without them. We came for the game. Now it's time to own up to that, to look at what's going on and recognize that you can deal with it. You are creator. You are a God particle. You are a child of the creator. You're not the creator. You have been created in the mind of God, and we fell asleep in the mind of God. We have now felt the torment, the suffering, the loss, the isolation, the illness, the sickness, the ill treatment, the cold, and there's somebody to blame. There's somebody who did it. Yes, they did it. That was their part to play. And we don't know if they have souls. We don't really know that. However, it is possible that they are our co creation. It is possible that they are the children, the newly birthed souls. Know how selfish little children can be? You know how cruel they can be? Mine, mine, mine. They bite each other and they'll do all kinds of things, especially if they were ill treated. And these people who are abusing others have been ill treated also. That's how they continue the generational lines of it. I don't know all the details of each, but if I looked into, I know that many are groomed by their family members to be sadistic, to be psychopathic. I did research on some of the worst serial killers, um, and looked how a serial killer was born, infected, groomed, and it's a real thing. We can talk more about that later, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of closeness. There goes the rain again. um, can't drown me out. Um, takes a lot of closeness to and trust for to groom somebody, a child, into what you want it to be. Um, but it can be done. It can be done by everybody. And the experiments, the Stanford experiments, look that up, shows that People will fulfill the roles that are assigned to them. So look at the Stanford experiment, famous psychological experiment gone wrong, and that's part of the beauty of it. It went really wrong, and they had to shut it down. So these people, it's the same with them. But look, we're getting into the third, another part of the process here. The forgiveness, why to forgive, etc. But look at what they have done. Study this. Um, do it during the day, most likely. Not with children around. Do not do it with children around. You need your time and your space. You don't need the vibes going around because these emotions are going to come up. While you're looking at it, ask to have a new perspective, a healed perspective, okay? Be open, do it in a meditative way, not to the abuse, not to you must stay calm. If you get more than overwhelmed, if you get kind of sick, which I have at times, then pray for guidance, pray for your guardian angels. If you don't feel like you've got a connection with something like a guardian angel, the Holy Spirits, some healing avatars of some sort, got to get one. Got to get a connection, okay? Or tune into to all of us, your brothers, your sisters, um, your co-creators. All right, I feel like I'm at the end of this one. Blessings. Namaste. Maybe we should start these and end these with a prayer, that we be divinely guided and led. Okay? Have an awesome day. To have a great life, start by having a great day. When you do this stuff, be very nurturing. Love yourself. Give yourself good tea, good food, good rest, exercise, yoga, meditation, prayer, all of it. Be positive. Be happy. Blessings.